Okay, so what if every single road, every bridge, every public project in the country was absolutely guaranteed to finish on time with zero corruption? It sounds impossible, right? Well, today we're diving into a really radical new proposal from India that aims to do just that. It's called the Guaranteed Project Completion Act. Now, to get why this act was even thought up, you first need to understand this number, 5 lakh crore rupees. That is the estimated amount of money India loses every single year because of corruption and delays in public projects. It's just a staggering figure, and it represents a massive, massive drain on the nation's potential. So how on earth does this proposal plan to solve such a huge problem? Well, here's how we're going to break it down. We'll start by looking at the real scale of the crisis. Then we'll introduce you to the new guardian created to fight it, this body called NPIRA. We'll check out its all-seeing technology, its pretty serious iron fist intervention powers, the severe penalties for corruption, and finally, what kind of transformed nation this could all lead to.
All right, let's really dig into that 5 lakh crore rupee problem. Because, this isn't just about money on a spreadsheet. It's about the immense public suffering that comes from stalled hospitals, unfinished roads, and essential services that just never arrive.
The crucial point that the Act supporters make is this. Our current system is fundamentally reactive. It only tries to catch corruption after the money's already gone and the project has ground to a halt. The system just doesn't have the teeth to prevent these problems before they even start, especially when a new government comes in or a contractor just decides to walk off the job. And that brings us to the proposed solution. A powerful, completely independent new body that's been designed from the ground up to be a proactive guardian of public money and public projects. It's called the National Project Integrity and Recovery Authority, or NPIRA for short. So NPIRA's mission is, and I mean this, incredibly ambitious. Think of it like a super referee with the ultimate authority over every single major public project. Its mandate is absolute. Zero corruption, zero delay, and a rock-solid guarantee that every project gets completed, no excuses, no matter what. But you might be wondering, how could one single organization possibly keep an eye on thousands of projects all across such a huge country? Well, the proposed answer is technology. NPRA is designed to be a digital-first authority, basically an all-seeing eye providing constant 24/7 oversight. And get this, the sheer scope of the technology they're talking about is just stunning. Imagine a public dashboard where you can see the real-time progress of any project, AI that actually predicts corruption risks before they can happen, a blockchain registry for records that nobody can ever tamper with. Then you add in satellites, drones, and on-site sensors, and you have a system of transparency and surveillance that is just completely unprecedented. But NPIRA isn't just designed to sit back and watch from a distance. Nope. It's armed with what the legislation literally calls an iron fist, the power to intervene directly and take total control the second a project starts to go off the rails. And the triggers for this kind of intervention are crystal clear. If a project is delayed by more than a month, if a contractor just abandons the site, or if the system detects any significant fraud, boom. NPIRA is empowered to step in immediately. There are no long, drawn-out bureaucratic processes. It's instant. And the speed of that intervention is spelled out in a 4-step emergency takeover protocol. The moment a failure is detected, NPIRA seizes everything: the construction site, the equipment, even the bank accounts. Then, within just 48 hours, a new, pre-qualified contractor is brought in and the work starts again. The core principle here is simple. The work must never stop. And wow, the contrast in consequences here is stark. For the contractor that failed, it's over. They are blacklisted for life, their assets are seized to cover any losses, and they face immediate criminal charges. Meanwhile, a new contractor from a ready-to-go pool just steps in seamlessly, and the project continues without a hitch, all under NPIR's direct supervision. Okay, so beyond just making sure the project gets finished, the Act is designed to make corruption an incredibly costly, high-risk crime. This brings us to the consequences, which is all about recovering every stolen rupee and punishing the guilty. NPIRA's powers here are just extensive. It can immediately attach and confiscate assets, use AI to sniff out hidden properties, and even work with international agencies to bring back money that's been stashed overseas.
And maybe the biggest stick it carries, it can impose penalties of up to 5 times the amount that was stolen.
And the punishments they're proposing are incredibly severe. For a public official involved in corruption over 10 crore rupees, the penalty is life imprisonment, plus that massive fine. Even a supervisor who just willfully looks the other way and ignores red flags could be facing decades in prison. This act is sending a very, very clear message.
So you have to ask, what's the financial justification for creating such a powerful new authority? Well, the numbers are pretty striking. The estimated 5-year cost to run the whole of NPIRA is just over 3,000 crore rupees. But the expected financial benefit from stopping all that corruption and delay? Over 50 times lakh crore rupees? I mean, that's a return on investment of more than 160 to 1. It's just wild. So this brings us to the ultimate vision behind the act. It's not just about punishing bad guys, it's about fundamentally transforming the way the country builds its own future. It's about guaranteeing that public money actually results in public good. The promised outcome here is nothing short of a transformed nation. Just imagine a reality where every single public project, every road, every school, every hospital is completed exactly as planned. Where systemic corruption isn't just punished, but it's completely rooted out at its source. This would unlock trillions of rupees to be reinvested into the country's future, making this act a critical enabler of India's biggest economic ambitions. You know, the entire philosophy of this sweeping piece of legislation can really be summed up in this one powerful line from the source document. When integrity is guaranteed, prosperity is inevitable. It connects the dots directly. And so this proposal leaves all of us with a really critical question. Is the Guaranteed Project Completion Act a brilliant blueprint for creating incorruptible, efficient governance? Or does concentrating this much power, we're talking surveillance, seizure, and prosecution, into a single independent authority, represent a step too far? That's the huge debate this act is poised to ignite.